Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a beef brisket with the Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone using premium Texas blend 100% hardwood pellets. I like these because of the hickory side of everything. And today is going to be more of a voiceover video, not much of showing you what I'm doing. I wasn't around for the whole thing, wasn't involved with it, I wasn't sitting there watching it, didn't really have the time to do it. But I'm here to tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm using a 10 to 11 pound brisket, and I injected it with beef broth with the grain about all over the brisket at different depths. So I'm gonna tell you how I did it. Before I did any kind of seasoning on it, I had it in the deep freeze, so I let it thaw out for about 4 days in the refrigerator doing a slow thaw. And while the brisket was still cold, I trimmed the fat because it's a lot easier. The whole top side, I took off all the fat, all the silver skin, everything, and then there's that big, thick chunk of fat on the thicker part of your brisket. And I took that down just about as far as I could without hitting any of the meat. As you can see here, I've got the seasoning on it. I used Rudy's barbecue beef rub, and I did not rub it in. I held it at a good height, got a nice even coat all on the top, the sides, and I even did a little bit on the bottom. And I did not rub this in. I left it as it is. I let it sit for about an hour to get the brisket itself warmed up, get those seasonings down in the meat. And like I said, do not rub it in, just let it sit there, get it up to temp, make sure it's covered so you get that good, nice dark bark. So here guys, it's about 2 a.m. I've let my Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone get up to 250, sit for a little bit, and I've got the brisket on now. I've got the meat probe on the thinner section of where the thin section of meat and the thick section of meat overlap. Got it about halfway in there, right in the center, and let her cook. Alright guys, 7:15 a.m. The temp on the brisket was 161 when I took it off, wrapped it in aluminum foil, got it at 163. Still got the temp, the Daniel Boone, at 250, so it's time to shut the lid and let it finish. So I was not around for when the brisket finished, but the inner temp got up to 198, and I called him and told him to go ahead and pull it, put it in a cooler, and throw a blanket on top of it. And we actually let this rest for about 3 to 4 hours before we even got back home to start cutting into it. As you can tell, it had a nice, beautiful dark bark on the top of it. The seasoning just popped in your mouth, and you can see that red smoke ring around there just added a lot of flavor. And one of the most important parts, I think, about this one is the beef broth that I injected it with just kept the inside moist. And a lot of people skip over the letting it rest part to get those juices back up in the brisket, and that is probably one of the most important parts. And do not forget about that. Let it rest for at least 2 hours, and if you let it go longer, it does not hurt the meat. But that is one of the most important things that I have to say about it. But this turned out beautiful. This is my second brisket on the Green Mountain Grill, and the grill just keeps temperature, and you can walk away from it and leave it, and it'll just stay right there as long as you're keeping the pellets in it. But turned out awesome, loved it. Hope this video is helpful for anybody that's got any questions about it. But don't be scared to walk away from your grill because it's very, very reliable. But have fun, keep grilling. Thanks for watching.